All right, here we are. Welcome to the live stream of Win the Day, where we talk about how realtors can win the day and set up incredible careers. All right. Today, I want to start out for all y'all that are going to be watching this later or listening to it later. First of all, thank you. Our hope here is that we can help you achieve more. I got a lot of experience. I'm 20 years into this with the highest level coaching you possibly have, 1,500 transactions plus 700 million in sales. I mean, we've done a few things. All right. Julie's on here, 20 plus years in the business, highly successful, has ran her own group, all that. Mark Simpson's on here. He's been a productivity coach, business owner, and other stuff. And Destiny Powell's on here. Couple years in the business, fighting the fight. I love her insight. So that's what you're getting here. Our intention is to offer, to give back, all that stuff. So we just started a YouTube channel, Win the Day. Will you please go on there and subscribe? We're trying to grow that, but let's get into it. Let's figure out how you're going to do more here in 2025. I'm going to start it this way. If you want results, you got to do certain activities. All right. People who succeed at a high level are doing so because of what they're doing. All right. What do I mean by that? They have a plan and they're executing. There's nothing by accident occurring there. So I was thinking about it. Young gal walks in. I'm getting coffee. She comes in. I mentor her from time to time. And she struggled in 2024. And she says, I can't do 2024 again. I just can't do it. How do I make 25 work for me? Okay. Good question, right? I think we're all there. We get that. I told her, all right, there's really three things that you're going to have to focus on in 2025 to make it what you want. And she's like, oh God, all right, what is it? Let's go. Tell me what it is, right? And it's cool because I can tell she wants it. And it's hard, she's had some success, but not enough where she's financially secure. So I get that. There's a lot of stress. I get that. So I said, all right, there's three things you got to do. The first thing is your activities. It just comes down to the activities you're doing. You got to be hyper aware of what you're doing at all times. Start at home, before and after work. You got to think about what you're doing. What does that look like? Well, are you getting enough sleep? Are you coming to work? Are you going to be able to do the work because you're well enough rested? Are you sleepwalking through your days? What are you doing at home? Think about it. Eating. Are you eating the right foods? Are you getting yourself the nutrition such that you can show up properly prepared? Right? Are you taking care of your body? Are you working out? Because here's the fact of the matter is you got to show up at work mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared to do the activities you need to do at work. So when you're at home and you're doing whatever you're doing, just take a pause. You got to train yourself on this. Just take a pause. Is what I'm doing now going to move me forward towards the result I want? Or is it going to take away? Or is it neutral? If it's moving you forward, keep going. If it's neutral, consider doing something else. And if it's moving you away, well, absolutely stop doing what you're doing and move to something that's going to move you forward. Okay. That's the first thing. Then when you get to work, the same thing, but even more so, take a look at the activities you're doing at work. Are they moving you toward the outcome you're looking for? Right? Are they moving you toward that? Yeah, I remember I asked her, are you getting this? Yeah, I got it. Do the stuff that moves me forward. Okay. Tell me more about that, because you got to make sure, right? Everybody, yeah, I got it. And they don't got it, right? It's a simple concept, but still, they don't got it. And so she said, okay, no, I got it. You got to lead gen, lead follow-up, negotiate deals, go on appointments, and preview and study the market. I was like, yeah, all right, you do got it. Good. Now, the next thing then you have to do is make sure you're following your schedule. It's one thing to know what you got to do. It's another thing to do it. Okay. The activities thing is an audit. It's an internal self audit. Are you doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing? But your schedule, if you had to do one thing it would be your schedule. Anybody ever ask, what's the one thing I can do to really get myself better? Follow your freaking schedule. We're all really good at setting a schedule. January 1, whatever. It's really hard, though, to follow your schedule all the time. It's just hard. It's just hard. Because I remember she said to me, this isn't rocket science. I'm like, no. But it ain't easy either. It's not easy. And if it was, we'd all be doing it, right? I mean, let's be honest. We'd all be succeeding at super high levels. It's not easy. Now, the cool thing is it's not hard. We know what we need to do, right? We know we got to get a good night of sleep. As you get older, that gets harder. Weird. Side thing. Yeah, as I get older, I find myself worried about getting enough sleep and staying awake enough all at the same time. It's weird. But yeah, you got to get good sleep so you're well rested. You got to eat right so you have the energy, and you got to work out so you're physically strong enough to do the job well at a high level. Okay, that's, again, we get that. You just got to do that. All right, follow me on this. And I'm just going to go through it, and then we'll talk about it. At work, you got to do the activities that yield results. Lead gen, lead follow-up. If you do nothing else, lead gen, lead follow-up. Okay, that will lead to appointments. Okay, and that will lead to negotiations. All right, then you also have to preview. You got to study the market trends. Here's the thing: schedule. Underline, highlight, bold, schedule. All right. In the morning, first thing, lead gen, follow up, or follow up, lead gen, probably in that order. Okay. In the afternoons, appointments, previews, negotiating, study. Afternoon, appointments, negotiations, previews, study. When? In the afternoon, because in the morning, you're lead gen. The way it is. Okay. And if you follow that schedule, I absolutely promise 2025 will be fine, better than fine. It'll be great. All right. Destiny, are you following any of that?
I am definitely following all of it as far as, being keyed into what I need to do differently this year to have a more successful year in real estate. Down to how many hours of calling I have to do this year to get those appointments and negotiate those contracts. It's going to take a certain.
It's not easy though, right?
No, it's not. It took me a few weeks to actually get dialed in with Mark. He coaches me as well, but coming up with these certain numbers that now I can dial into every day. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a clock.
It is. There you go. It's a lifestyle. It's who you're becoming. You are going to become this person that does those things. John in New York, thanks for coming in. Fallon, local, like it. Steve's local. Good to see y'all. Julie, this resonate in your world? You do things a little different than I do, right? I'm a hard charger. You're more of a come from the side. Is that true or no?
I'm a hard charger, but I'm not. I know that
you're not a cold caller.
Yeah, I don't really do much of that. The closest I come to cold calling is open houses, because I don't feel like that's cold call. I build relationships with people. But the thing I'm thinking as you're talking is guard your schedule. Think of your lead gen time as an international flight. So when you are going on an international flight, how prepared are you? Do you get to the airport just in time to skid in through security and hope that you catch the flight? Or do you get there early, prepared, packed with a list? Just think of it every time as, I can't miss this, because if I miss this, it screws everything up. So if that's the great thing that's about real estate. Destiny and I were talking yesterday. Mm-hmm. What I love about real estate is it doesn't take the most experienced or the most professional, the most knowledgeable person to be successful. It takes the person who is trustworthy and is motivated. So if you get after it, and if you work hard, you will be successful. People are looking for someone who's going to work hard for them and get the answers. You can get the professionalism and the expertise from your coach and your mentor, but you being the one that's there for everybody, and you are doing the best you can, but you are treating your calendar as an international flight, your lead gen calendar. Guard your calendar. Don't let other things sneak in there. Don't answer calls during that.
Want to?
Don't
have a minute. You have a minute.
Yeah, no, the answer is no. You close the door and say, I'll be available at 11 o'clock or whatever the thing is. But
Hey, real quick,
time
our guys put a sign on the door. I'm lead gen-ing. Come back after 11.
Yeah.
The door's closed.
You don't take texts. Turn your watch off if that's beeping. Don't take incoming calls. Don't take incoming texts, emails. None of that. Don't get distracted.
And that's the easy one. The person in the mirror you got to convince is the hard one.
Think of it like an open house. When I'm at an open house, I'm not taking calls. I'm not doing other things. I am front and center in front of people, one-to-one, building relationships. And I can't do something else. I'm not in a position to. That's how you have to treat your lead gen. If you treat your lead gen properly and then you follow up, that's key.
Over and over.
I think that we've also got to focus in here, because I can pack the right bags, I can get to the airport on time, but I've got to track my destination, and the destination is your pipeline. You have to identify, am I getting to the location? And that's 15 to 20 active pipeline buyers and sellers that are going to buy or sell in the next 6 months. If you are not filling those people into your pipeline, then all the activities, you've got to adjust your activities, because it's about filling your pipeline with the people who are between now and 6 months are going to buy or sell. And you're following up like a crazy person with them until they opt out, until they list, or until they buy. But you're always looking to fill that pipeline with 15 to 20 people that have raised their hand in all of these activities that say, hey, I want to buy or sell. If you're not getting those, you can spin your wheels. It's a script. It's a activity issue that you've got to work through. But that's the key thing. We got to see, am I filling my pipeline?
Awesome. Hey, Destiny, talk to Amika. Is Amita?
Amita.
Sorry about that. She wants to know, what do you suggest if you're not able financially to get lead source? Can you address that from your perspective?
Such a great question. I'm there too. So I'm in the trenches with you, Amita. Basically, if you're looking to lead gen and you don't have a tool, Facebook is free. Lead gen heavy on Facebook. I think when I first started, I was confused that lead gen had to be cold calling strictly, and it doesn't. You can have conversations on Facebook, post as much as you can, all your open houses, text all your open houses out to people in your cell phones, because when you do that, it shows that you're working and it strikes conversations. And that's what you're trying to do, is have conversations. And then consider setting yourself up differently as a realtor, even if it's just temporarily. For me, I'm on a team, and my team provides those resources so that I can and use those tools. So I want to think about that as well.
It may be getting with the title company. It may be getting with a lender who's willing to underwrite some of those tools for you. They don't have to break the bank.
Julie has open houses. You've done well on those, fair?
I have. And I would say, Amita, I'm old school. I got licensed in 1996.
I'm glad you said school.
There's that. I got licensed in 1996, and there were no lead gen sources. There was no Zillow, Google, Redfin, Realtor. You didn't buy leads. And my first year, I closed 48 transactions. And I didn't know my way around. I didn't have GPS. I had Thomas Maps, which most of you have no idea. That basically means a map. I drove around in my car, and I had little notes on my dashboard on what street was next, because I didn't know my way around, because I had just moved to the Phoenix area. There are plenty of ways of doing it. Open houses is the easiest, but there's plenty of ways to do it without spending money on lead gen sources. And I would say, be here tomorrow. We'll teach you one way to do it.
What's going on tomorrow?
Impossible to Fail is the name of the course. And the reason why it's called Impossible to Fail is if you do what I tell you to do, follow the protocol, follow the scripts, it's impossible to fail. You will absolutely, positively generate leads, more leads than you can manage. The problem you'll have is not having enough time to follow up. So deciding who to follow up with. So be here tomorrow, and I'll teach you how to do that.
Our whole conversation will be Julie talking open houses. It's going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and
block out a little extra time. It'll be more than 20 minutes. So.
And the expense when you're doing this is buying enough signs that are your personal sign, not your company that says HomeSmart. It has your logo, your face on it, and it's larger with your phone number on it, so that every time you do an open house, you're moving your billboard around the neighborhood and giving yourself exposure. So that's one trick. That there's plenty more tomorrow.
John's an old guy. He's got Rand McNally. I think Columbus used that to find his way.
Right.
I remember I used to have those books. Remember those big books?
Thomas
Going around
Guide.
Chicago.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm gonna interject here. Just it's a sideways thing, but I do want to encourage everybody to go on YouTube and pull up Win the Day and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And it's Win the Day Podcast, John Moran. That's what you're going to look for on YouTube. Here's the key. There's a little button. You want to subscribe, but there's also a little bell, and it notifies. My phone got a little notification that said we're streaming live. So if you're ever out and away and you forget about it, it pops up. Watch it on YouTube as well, because we're streaming both Facebook, YouTube, and we'll be putting more resources there.
So here's the thing. Let's just review real quick. If you want 2025 to really work, if you want your whole life to really work for you, you got to identify the activities that are going to yield the result you want. Okay. Whatever that may be, eat better, exercise more, go to bed earlier. I don't know, whatever your thing is. Okay. At work, I got to lead gen more. I got to follow my scripts better. I got to whatever, schedule more, whatever it is. Identify those activities, write them down, and then kind of think through your schedule. Maybe even write it down. I remember James Clear talked about this. He wrote down his whole schedule. He did Atomic Habits, right? Is that the guy? Whoever did Atomic Habits. He wrote down his whole schedule. I get up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, I go get coffee, or whatever. Just the most minute habits that he had. And he went through them. Is this a positive, a negative, or neutral to getting me where I need to be? You need to do the same thing. Your whole morning routine, your evening routine at home, and your routine at the office. Just kind of write it out. Your routine, not your one-offs, your routine, because these are the habits. These are your stuff. And just, are these positive, negative, or neutral for me to get where I need to be in 2025? If they're positive, go big on those. If they're neutral, maybe decide. If they're negative, absolutely pause them, stop them, and start working hard on more positive stuff. I think you're going to find yourself, dang, I didn't realize. Because we get these little minor things that we do, right? I'm nervous, I'm eating. I'm not even hungry, I'm just nervous, so I'm eating. Mm-hmm. Really? Maybe that's not a positive, unless it's a salad.
A good way to track yourself and figure out what you're doing and how you're wasting your time is, it's really, really hard to do, but I recommend doing it, a time audit. So you set your alarm for every 15 minutes is kind of hard, but 30 minutes, because it's an interruption with 15, even with 30. And every 15 minutes, just write down what you're doing in 5, 10, 30 seconds, and then get back to what you're doing. Do that for 24 hours. You're going to discover where you're wasting time, and you'll find that you're far more efficient when you're auditing what you do. And the number one thing where you're wasting time, probably for most people, is scrolling and TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's on the personal level. At work, I think it's the biggest waste is getting ready to almost be ready to pretty soon. I'm going to. You just got to start going. Mark's got a thing he's working on. Sorry, Mark, I'm letting the cat out of the bag. Does anybody put cats in bags? But anyway, we're letting the cat out of the bag. Mark's working on a thing for y'all that will track your results. Your effort?
We've got to do a little tweaking on it. So
we're not there yet. We're working on it. But what's the plan, Mark?
So the goal is it'll be a Win the Day leaderboard where you can go in and track your activities, your hours spent lead generating, how many follow-ups, how many previews, how much time, all of that. And you can go in there and it will give you badges and what have you, but it also will, the listening audience, you'll have leaderboards and you'll be competing.
If you know your numbers, you can predict with pretty good accuracy what the results are going to be. If you know how many calls it takes to get a lead, how many leads to get an appointment, how many appointments to get a listing, how many listings to get a sale, how many sales to equal, those numbers like a CEO of your business, which is what you are. things will get better for you.
It's much
All right.
easier. It's much easier that way. When you say, I'd like to make $100,000, I'd like to, get my debt paid off. I want to lose X amount of pounds. Those are results. Coming back to what Aaron West talked about a couple of weeks ago on goals, those are results. You have to figure out what the activities are to achieve the results. I need to make 73 calls every week to achieve the result that I want to achieve this year, in order to get enough referrals, appointments, closings at the average sales price that I had last year to generate the income I want for this year. I know the exact number. So each week I get to the end of the week. Have you made 73 calls?
You can adjust.
It's much easier if you know one or two things that you can adjust. It's like running a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how fast, what's your pace, what's your heart rate at. What people don't know is you got to keep those numbers in front of you so that you are on track. It's not the result. It's the activity to get to the result.
It's the discipline and tracking that very few will do, but the ones who do it succeed exceptionally.
So true. So true. Okay. So let's wrap this up. Julie's on here tomorrow with Impossible to Fail at open houses. Open houses are a big thing right now. You should absolutely come on for that. Julie, do you need anything to prepare for that, or?
Just come prepared to take notes,
Okay.
and have questions. If you have questions now, send them to us, but I'll try to answer all of your questions. There's all the answers are there because this is based on thousands of hours of refining and tracking and doing open houses successfully. Last year, I grossed $150,000 from open houses, and my tracking, my getting the people to sign in is 99%. 99%.
How much does it cost again?
Zero.
Guys, this is free education. It's unbelievable. Destiny, last words?
I would say track. That's the biggest thing that I know I'm working on this year, and it's helped me out already. I'm noticing an uptick in my business just by tracking and being eager to accomplish my goals.
You on the track team?
Nope.
Mark, last words.
Hey, look, we're going to be streaming here on Facebook. We're going to be streaming on YouTube. I want you all to go make sure you subscribe, like, share, set the notifications, and tell 10,000 friends. Hey, look, realtors out there are struggling. You can help them. And it's much more fun when you're succeeding with others.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So last words. Let me just tell you guys something. I've been in this business 20 years plus. I've had a coach every day since day 3, I think it was. $1,000 a month I've paid for 20 years. Do the math. The last 4 years, $1,500 a month. All right. Do the math on that. High level coaching. We are charging zero for this. So do yourself a favor. I'm just trying to give back. I want you all to succeed at super high levels. All right. So hopefully this helps. I think it's good. It's what I've learned, and we're passing it on. What Julie's doing with these open houses is amazing. And what Mark's doing with these tracking things, amazing. And Destiny with her perspective, amazing. So please take advantage of it, because who knows, it may not last forever. So take advantage while you can. All right.
Hey,
Let's go to
Amita
work.
asked if we've got a Zoom link. We will be streaming to YouTube. Why you need to go over there and subscribe and set your notifications.
Go to
And
YouTube.
we'll be streaming on Facebook right here, same location.
See y'all tomorrow. Let's go to work today. Watch your activities. See ya.
Bye-bye.